What's up, lads and ladettes? But don't forget the attack helicopters because they will rule the world one day. It's me, your local human. Today I want to talk to you guys about My Story Animated. It's so great. It's so amazing. It's so true. It's so real. I just had to tell you guys about it. Now, you guys probably already know it from Icy Pie, my dear friend, special boy. And yeah, I thought, why not continue the trend? So, because he forced like 20, 30 of you guys onto my channel, I'm gonna keep the content coming. And I'll probably parody a couple of bits of his content because I do actually go to school with him. But freaking heck, I'm gonna do some My Story Animated with you guys. So I hope you come along with me for this wacky, zany journey because it's going to be very epic. So epic, you might get an epic victory royale. So today we're going to be reviewing I Almost Proposed to a Psychopath. This is going to be real interesting.
I survived a home invasion. Hi, I'm Tom, and when I wanted to surprise my girlfriend Shelly, I booked us a romantic weekend at a nice cabin in the woods. But our vacation went like nothing I could have expected. We'd been dating for a couple years and had even bought our own place together.
We've been dating for a couple years, so we went to two wonders of the world, and we bought a house together, because that's the only logical thing to do for anyone trying to just. That's the only logical thing to do for people who are just dating, not even proposed.
I figured it was the right time to propose.
The ring pop. A ring pop is clearly the only way to do this. You got down on one knee and you pulled out your ring pop and she said, "Yes, yes, I love it so much."
I arranged for us to stay in a cabin in the middle of the forest, miles away from anywhere.
I was miles away from anywhere. That was such a great idea because, in the event that something bad was to happen, well, the authorities wouldn't know where to find me.
It had a hot tub, open fire, everything you needed for the perfect romantic getaway. I had plans for us to sip champagne while we sat in the hot tub under the stars. It was going to be amazing. But on the drive down to the cabin, Shelley seemed really off. I asked her what was wrong, but she said everything was fine, which made me feel even.
In response to asking them a question and then being like, "Oh, I'm fine," she instantly becomes the devil. Something is terribly wrong.
Worse. It's never fine. I hoped when Shelley saw the cabin, she'd be happy.
So my car went down this vertical slope, and, it didn't fall or anything or skid. It went smooth as butter as it just went, like, on, like, an 80-degree trajectory course with the ground.
But it was dark when we arrived, so she couldn't see how pretty it was. I asked if she wanted to go in the hot tub, but she said she was tired and went straight to bed. I wanted us to snuggle up in front of the open fire and hang out together, but that wasn't going to happen.
Wait. So you're tired in the nighttime? What? How could this happen? I had such a great thing planned out for you. We could go to the hot tub, we could snuggle by the fire, and go to sleep in the afternoon. Who goes to sleep in the night? Come on, small brain.
So I joined her in bed. She pushed me away when I tried to hug her.
She pushed me away when I was trying to spoon her, when I was trying to get to sleep with her. Why would she do that to me?
When I woke up the next morning, I was alone. I thought maybe Shelley was making me breakfast, but she wasn't in the kitchen. I found her sitting outside, drinking coffee. I asked her what was wrong, and she started crying. I got really worried, so I asked her again to tell me what was up. At last, she said she'd been having an affair.
At last, she told me that she was a DC fan, not a Marvel fan. How could you? You betrayed my trust.
I couldn't believe it. I thought we were so happy together, and instead she'd been cheating on me.
She was making out with Batman. Batman. That hunk. Damn you, Batman. You took my damn girlfriend away from me.
She wanted to talk, but I didn't have anything to say. I grabbed the car keys and drove off.
She didn't like me because I liked Marvel, not DC. She could have been Captain Marvel, and I could have been Iron Man.
I never wanted to see her again, but as I got further away from the cabin, I realized she'd left her cell phone in the car. With no phone and no car, she was stranded. Although I was really mad.
I was really mad, so I decided to let her die miles away from anywhere. I took her only 2 ways of escape away from her.
I couldn't leave Shelly stuck in the middle of nowhere, so I turned back to return her phone.
Loser, let your psychopath ex die. You shouldn't have gone back for her.
So she could order an Uber. When I walked into the cabin, Shelly was sitting in front of the fire. She looked so small and miserable, it broke my heart.
You broke my heart. It wasn't already broken before when you broke up with me or anything and you told me you liked DC. But now it's really broken.
Even though she'd cheated on me, I couldn't leave her. I loved her too much. We talked things through
and played patty cake just like we always did.
Decided to give it another go. I didn't tell her I'd been planning to propose. We couldn't think about marriage right now, but she agreed to go to couples therapy with me.
2 days
Maybe we'd be
later,
ready to get married in a few months.
To be married.
We fell asleep that night in each other's arms, but we were woken up in the middle of the night by someone banging on the door and yelling Shelly's name. "That's Paul," gasped Shelly. I told him to leave me alone, but he's been stalking me.
What? Why is your boyfriend here? Why is your boyfriend with us when there's 2 people here? It's not like we'd both be here together. He's stalking me. He tracked my IP. He found out where I was. He's a stalker.
He won't take no for an answer. That's right. The guy she'd been seeing behind my back had come after us. "Stay here," I told Shelly. "I'll make him leave."
I'll make him leave. I am Iron Man after all. Iron Man guns.
When I answered the door, I wasn't so sure I'd be able to make him do anything. Paul was huge.
Oh God, he's Iron Man, but Paul is the Incredible Hulk. Oh God, it's just like that one movie all over again. Oh no, he's gonna have to get out the Hulk Buster.
There was no way I'd win in a fight against him, but I didn't let him see I was afraid. I told him Shelly wasn't interested. He ignored me and called out for her. She came over and told him to leave. She said she wanted to be with me. That's when Paul pulled out a gun. Shelly screamed.
Turns out the Hulk doesn't use his hands anymore. He shoots people.
And I pushed her behind me. I'd never been so scared in my life, but I told Paul to calm down and leave or I'd call the cops.
See, the cops can beat the Hulk, but I can't.
I didn't think he'd listen to me, but suddenly Paul put the gun away and left. Shelly was shaking, so
he left just a giant hole in the grass wherever he walks. Because he just tramples it because he's so massive.
I got her a whiskey and we went back to bed.
Why does coffee and whiskey look exactly the same in this story? Gives your wife some coffee. Oh, damn, I'm hammered. Was that the whiskey? I don't know. They look the same to me.
We were both too stressed to sleep, so I held Shelly as she sipped her drink. At last, she fell asleep in my arms, but I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. How could have Shelly gotten involved with somebody like Paul? As
I couldn't stop thinking about the volume of this cone and the hypotenuse of this right triangle. Oh my god. What's the what's the what's the square root of b? Oh god. What the hell is it?
Carefully, I pulled my arm out from under my girlfriend.
See, Paul had come to my frickin' house, so instead of waking up my girlfriend and alerting her to the situation, I tried to make it so that she wouldn't notice. You know, potentially risking her life and all that. It's fine.
But I wasn't careful enough, and she woke up. "Stay here," I whispered. "I think I heard something. I'm sure it's nothing." I crept out onto the landing. I could hear voices downstairs. It wasn't Paul. Someone had broken in.
That's not Paul. That's Dr. Seuss's evil OC. Oh no!
Broken in. I went back to Shelley and told her to hide in the closet and call the cops. She wanted to come with me, but I told her she'd be safer hiding.
Hide in the closet, Shelley, and remember, don't you dare come out of the closet.
I pulled on my robe and grabbed my cell phone before going out to the landing. I wanted to know more about the burglars. Maybe I could scare them off. She said she'd have an expensive engagement ring, as well as a stash of cash, I heard one of them say. She said we could keep those as long as it looks like an accident. What were they talking about? Bang! Somebody hit me over the head from behind, and I blacked out.
So they weren't like, we found the guy, he's awake, oh god. They were just like, bang!
When I woke up, I was lying on the floor in the living room. I tried to sit up, but my hands and feet were tied.
Wait, really? His hands and feet were tied so he couldn't escape. How could this have happened? I didn't know that happened.
I looked around. Paul was lying on the floor next to me.
How could the burglars hurt the Hulk? The Hulk's like 10 times the size of them.
But no one else was in the room. "Paul," I whispered. "Paul." He didn't answer. I wriggled over to him and had to bite back a scream when I got closer. He was passed out on the floor. The burglars had hurt him.
Oh god, the burglars are sharks. They're gonna hurt my freaking ex because they're sharks. Oh god. Ah.
I had to get free. I had to rescue Shelley before they killed her, too. I heard voices, so I closed my eyes and pretended to be unconscious as two people walked into the room. "You should have been quieter," a woman said. "This would have been much easier if you'd heard him in his sleep." That was Shelley. She was working with the guys who had hurt Paul.
Shelly did this? How could Shelly betray me like this? Oh my god, Shelly was the one? Oh god, this is such a big twist. I never expected that the girl would become a psychopath. Like the title told me.
And she wanted to hurt me. I had to get out of there, but what could I do when I was tied up? Someone kicked me, and I had to pretend it didn't hurt so they'd think I was still knocked out. "What are we going to do?" asked the man. I listened as they talked about the best way to kidnap me. Apparently, Shelley hadn't expected Paul to follow her. He was just someone she'd been with a few times, but he became obsessed with her, so she broke it off. Now they were going to use poor Paul as an excuse to get rid of me. I heard them talk about how they could set things up to look like Paul and I fought and hurt each other. Just when I thought things couldn't be any worse, I heard the sound of Shelley kissing the guy. I breathed a sigh of relief as I heard Shelley and the man go upstairs. I was safe now, but if I didn't get free by the time they were down, I was gonna be in danger. I'm not the most flexible guy, but I managed to get my hands in front of me. Using my teeth, I got the ropes off my wrists and then untied my legs.
I'm not the most flexible person, but at the same time, I managed to overcome all of their handcuffs and foot restraints. And my teeth were strong enough were to bite straight through the rope. I'm not that strong or anything, but, I could bite through rope directly. And untie some complicated knots just in a few seconds. It's no big deal or anything.
I was free, but what now? I looked over at Paul and had an idea. I hated the thought of moving him, but he had a gun, and I needed it. I found Paul's gun in an ankle holster. I took it and checked to see how many bullets it had. It was empty. Paul was never going to shoot me.
Paul wasn't gonna shoot me. It was empty. Then why pull the gun on him? Why pull the gun if he wasn't gonna shoot you?
I patted him over and found some bullets in his
You
shirt
only
pocket.
pull the- So wait, he did have bullets, right? But then he does have bullets. Make up your mind, story creators.
Before I could load the gun, I heard Shelley and her lover coming out of the bedroom. Quickly, I ran over to the front door, but it was locked, and the key was gone.
And the key was gone? How could this have happened? I thought the key would just be sitting right there on the floor. How could this have happened?
I raced into the kitchen, looking for somewhere to hide. Shelley was coming closer. If she found me, I was a dead man. I ran into the laundry and shut the door behind me. The door didn't have a lock, so I dragged the washing machine over to block the door. I heard Shelley scream in anger when she saw I was gone. "Tom," she yelled, "you get back here." "Not a chance," I said to myself as I started to put the bullets in the gun. My hands were shaking so much I spilled them over the floor, but at last I managed to load the gun.
I managed to bolt one bullet in the chamber. All the other bullets fell out, though.
I could hear Shelley and the man looking for me. I had to get out of there. There was a tiny window at the back of the laundry room. I didn't know if I'd be able to fit through it, but while I was thinking through my options, there was a bang on the door. They'd found me. I ran to the window and tried to open it. It wouldn't budge. There was a scraping sound as my attacker started pushing the door open. I had run out of time. I smashed the window and pushed myself through it. To this day, I have no idea how I fit through such a small space, but I was filled with adrenaline and didn't notice when I cut myself on the broken glass.
I smashed the window with my soap bottle. I didn't even cut myself that bad on all of the loose glass and shattered freaking pieces everywhere.
I landed heavily on the ground and started limping away from the house when suddenly someone grabbed me. "Got ya," he said. I'd forgotten about the other burglar. In a panic, I kicked him hard in his stomach, and the man collapsed.
So in a panic, I kicked him by bending my knee the wrong way.
And I kept running.
Oh God, it's Guy Fieri and his girlfriend. Oh God, Guy Fieri's took my girlfriend now. I thought it was Batman before.
There was a roar from the window. I turned and saw the other burglar snarling at me. He tried to push himself through, but he was too big. "Tom!" someone shouted. I turned and saw Shelley running towards me. She must have come out of the front door.
Tom teleports to Tom.
"Stay back," I warned her. "You can't hurt me," she said. "You love me." She came up close and stepped forward like she was going to kiss me, but I saw the glint of a knife in her hand. "You're right. I can't hurt you," I said, bringing up the gun and hitting her over the head hard enough to knock her out. She collapsed, and I ran off into the forest.
So I hit her with the gun. She collapsed, and Shia LaBeouf ran into the forest.
When I was far enough away, I took out my cell and called the police. Soon, the place was crawling with cops. I ran to the cops for help. I was so relieved that they had finally come to save me. But then, I saw my girlfriend talking to one of the cops. She looked so innocent, as she was crying and telling the cop her version of the story. Suddenly, she pointed at me and screamed, "Here he is!" The cops hurried up to arrest me, and before I knew it, I was at the police station waiting to be interrogated. Turns out my girlfriend had told the police that I had planned all of this to hurt her after I found out about the affair. This was crazy. The officers interrogated me for hours, and I told them the same story every time. Eventually, the police officers believed my story. Not because they believed me, though. It was after they found out that my girlfriend and the other guy ran away from the hospital they were staying in. Until this day, no one knows where they are. And to be honest, I'm just glad they're gone.
Now Guy Fieri is on the beach with my girlfriend, drinking red wine. That was my mistake. I didn't get her red wine. How can I be so stupid? I got her the whiskey, not the red wine.
Did you like my story? Remember to subscribe, comment, and share for more great videos.
That was a really great story. Thank you, Mr. Man. I've already done all those things. So, all I can say is I want to do more stuff like this. So if you guys like it, please just support it. And, all I'd have to say is if you're gonna watch some of these videos on your own, all I'd have to say is to comment, "You are so amazing and so real. I am a fellow youth, and I too simply love these educational stories." Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to your local human, which is me, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!
Thank you.